We all either want to remember or be remembered. When we know we've had a beautiful day, we want to record it so we don't forget. When we have our proudest moment, we want to share it with as many people as possible. But how would you make sure that you or others remember? Maybe you write it down in a journal, or save a memory to Snapchat, or tweet out your achievement. Everyone's got their own little special way in doing it. However, I want to introduce you to someone who's keeping track of their days through a very unorthodox method, the YouTube comments. This is the journal of Mr. Tortilla. The music that's currently playing is Clair de Lune, a classical piece by Debussy. If you scroll down on the video, you'll definitely see some of Mr. Tortilla's comments. His daily journal entries / comments are deeply personal and always speak his mind. He always wears his heart on his sleeve. The entries consistently get hundreds of likes in the comments, with interactions and replies as well. After seeing this for the first time, a bunch of questions began stewing in my mind. What led to Mr. Tortilla to post this many comments on a YouTube video? Is there an agenda that he's doing this for? And how is he able to sustainably and consistently appear in the section and not get flooded out by other comments? My first assumption was bots, but after doing some digging, I found this was definitely not the case. I pulled up his comments from day 1, and his growth was definitely organic. He didn't start gaining traction until day 28, where he hit 200 likes and 5 replies on a comment. From here, the comments would fluctuate from a few likes to a few hundred, but more so on the lower ends. Even without much engagement, he still kept showing up on a daily basis and shared his entries, until day 85 where his comment blew up. It explained why he set out to do this and will continue to do this. Feel free to pause here and read it if you like. However, this doesn't explain why Mr. Tortilla's comments consistently show up above others in the comments section. This all has to do with how the comments algorithm works. In very simple terms, if you have a high like to low dislike ratio, a high engagement with replies in a short amount of time, YouTube will rank this as a good comment, and therefore it will show it to more people. The more engagement, the better it is, so it will be placed above others. Comments are also attached to profiles, so the more good comments that you leave, YouTube assigns a better comment score to your channel. Therefore, comments in the future are more likely to be recommended compared to someone with a lower comment score. This leads to a snowball effect where the more you leave good comments, the more they get recommended, and the more they get recommended, people will become familiar with your name and profile, and therefore are more likely to interact with it more often, feeding the cycle again. That's how he's able to consistently get to the top of the comments section. After determining his engagements and comments were genuine, I wondered why do people care so much about him? And this is what I came up with. I believe it's because he's been able to resonate deeply with people at a drop of a hat, one comment at a time. Given how the world is unfolding, it's comforting to have something constant that you can tune into daily. It provides the feeling of stability, which is pretty difficult to come by nowadays. It's also comforting in seeing that someone else isn't living a perfect life, as tragic as that may sound. Instead of social media skewing our perception that everyone's life is good and perfect through sharing their highlights, it's consoling to know that there's hardships that everyone is going through, and that's okay. It normalizes the fact that life always has rough patches, and this feeling is only achieved through Mr. Tortilla emotionally bearing himself to thousands on a daily basis. There's something noble and just about turning up to put a vulnerable side of yourself out there every single day, no matter what hardship he endures. He hasn't missed a day over the past 510 days and counting. Be it tiredness, fatigue, mental health issues, sickness, or even almost breaking an arm, he's still there. The act of persevering for this long on a project is commendable in itself, and knowing that he continued to do so for no other reason than a form of expression is inspiring. Whenever I read any of Mr. Tortilla's journal entries accompanied with the music, it's a moment of clarity and is quite cathartic. It's these little moments of introspection that someone else has taken to stop and think about, take the time and effort to type it all out to share with the world, and to make us think about it too. It's the appreciation for the little things in life which makes me feel like we shouldn't take things for granted. In that sense, it's a much more genuine connection than most in-person interactions I've had. Even though all he is a bunch of text and a profile picture, you know that there's a real human on the other end of the screen, typing and sharing his story. It's hard not to feel like you want to root for him and wish for the best for his daily endeavours, because he's sharing his most vulnerable day-to-day moments. And in doing so, he indirectly encourages others to do the same in a safe space, allowing them to open up. As with all life, there are highs and lows. This comment section gives me the feeling that we want to celebrate each other's highs and cheer each other on through the lows. Completely and utterly without any discrimination, simply for the fact that we know there's a person on the other side of the screen that is sharing their experience of the world. For this reason, I think that is one of the peak moments where the internet has created and captured something beautiful. There's something that makes it feel completely sincere and organic, the fact that he's not posting to a self-absorbed social media platform, but to a YouTube comment section of a beautiful musical piece. There's literally no way to follow his posts unless you go to the video itself and have it play while reading his entries. This makes it so that only people who genuinely care and bother to think of Mr. Tortilla will go out of their way to visit him in the comments on the video, fostering a wholesome community. This is also on top of the fact that the video itself draws a calmer and more thoughtful demographic. I don't think this was on purpose, but it's just the way that it's turned out. The test of his sincerity is that even if Mr. Tortilla were to receive no likes or comments, I'd like to think that he'd still be making daily comments regardless. He's not doing it for any form of self-gain. It started off for personal reasons, but now it's grown larger than that. There's been over 62,000 comments on this video, and to think that at least 5,800 of them have been related to Mr. Tortilla is pretty impressive. Logistically speaking, it's impractical and extremely unlikely to build an audience like this, but he's gone and built a community in a YouTube comment section. This was my homage to a person recording and sharing their life story in the most unique, wonderful, and unexpected place. So that is the most up-to-date tale of Mr. Tortilla. If you like to follow his journey going forward, you know exactly where to find him. I'll place a link in the description for your convenience. I'll also link his channel if you'd like to show further support. Speaking of support, I'd like to thank each and every one of you that leave any comments, or for even just watching. It's crazy to think that just over a month ago I had only 27 subscribers, and as of recording right now we're nearing about 50k. That's insane. So thank you for thinking that my videos are worth subscribing for. I wish I could respond more, but I've been overwhelmed with the back-end stuff of managing the channel, and I'm still trying to get my footing as a content creator. I cringe a little every time I call myself that because all I want to do is just create good videos that people will enjoy watching. Before trying to make my own videos, I always thought, why don't YouTubers just post more? But I'm only experiencing now just how much work goes into a YouTube channel and how naive it was to think like that before. So I'm trying to do the best that I can and learn things on the fly. Anyways, thank you for sticking around for my ramblings and for watching. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.